Hello, this is Vanna Regattas again. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've made a video. I had an eventful winter in that I fell and broke my leg, and I'm just now getting back to normal. So if you've experienced the same, you can certainly sympathize. But what I wanted to talk with you about today is carding versus combing. Which is best for you and which tools should you buy? So often people think, oh, I need a set of carders right away. Not really. You might be really needing combs rather than carders. Carders are very portable, they're very demo friendly, they're very safe compared to combs. If you are considering combs, what you might want to try first is just to go to the dollar store. Buy you 3 or 4 of the hair picks, that are about 2 inches wide. Use those as miniature combs. They will process it quite well. In my area in particular, I found out what I needed were combs because I do mostly unjacketed wool that's very inexpensive. It usually comes from the meat sheep, meaning it is the down type fibers. Now, if I were doing jacketed wool and if it were short, sure, carders would be wonderful. But I found I end up using my combs more and more and more because of the way I spin and the type of fiber that I use. So I wanted to demonstrate to you today how to comb safely. If it's for you, check it out, go to the dollar store before you invest in any combs. And think about how are you going to use them? Are you going to use them sitting in the living room in the recliner while you watch TV with the family? Are you going to use them while demonstrating? Do they need to be portable? Or are you just going to clamp them onto a table somewhere and leave them and use them as you need them? What I'm going to look at today are the portable ones because that's my preference, and I will also show you what I'm working on today. I pulled out some Jacob that was in storage for 3 years now, and I'm finding that it had shortcuts. It was not jacketed, so it has VM, vegetable matter, and I am separating the colors a bit as I go. So I am just washing or scouring small bits in lingerie bags outside and only carrying a little bit of water at the time. I got that urge. I wanted to scour wool after so long. So it is doable. It's a 5-gallon bucket outside. I'll show you some pictures. Also, the sun and heat is a wonderful asset whenever you are combing because it will heat up that wool and heat up any kind of lanolin that might be in there to make the wool tines glide. It's said that the major wool combs way back when is they might set them in the fire or near the fireplace or to warm them up so it would glide through the wool a little bit easier. So let's take a look at what I'm doing, and then I'll show you how I comb and the benefits of the smaller combs versus the larger. So often I hear, oh, you need to buy the Valkyrie combs. Well, yeah, they are popular. They're about 4 inches wide. For the down breed, you need the double time. So you're going to clamp them to the table. They are not portable necessarily. You can use them as portable, but they're awfully heavy. I found they weren't for me. By the time I got done combing after an hour or two, I was worn out. And I'm to the age, no, that is not enjoyable. It's also kind of dangerous. So if you're considering combing, be sure you're up to date on your vaccinations with tetanus because combs can be very dangerous. They are sharp instruments. So you need to regard them as knives. If you've ever taken any firearm training, you might compare them to loaded weapons. That's what they are. You have to be very, very careful, not only with yourself, but other people around. So let's take a look and see what I'm doing. I'm sorry for all the background noise. I'm outside. I can't bear to be inside today. It's 80 degrees and it's wonderful. The little girls next door are playing, the water garden's going, the birds are singing, and of course the traffic is going by. So anyway, it's a beautiful day. So let me show you what I'm working on. I decided to go through my stash and I found Jacob. It's 3-year-old Jacob, and I want you to notice also I did not wash it prior to storage, and I used bay leaves for bug repellent. Works very well, and it's not real stinky, but it's a really nice fleece, very soft. There are a lot of second cuts, there are a lot of VM. This is the scoured and also the combed. You can tell with the scoured, there's quite a bit of VM. I have separated the colors for the Jacob. These on the other side have already been combed and pulled slightly, drafted slightly. That is pulled top, that is wound into a nest and will be ready for spinning. And to scour, I usually use Outback Gold. You can use Power Scour, you can use Dawn, and I have it just in small lingerie bags. It really helps prevent it from matting whenever you can do lingerie bags. Now then, my choice today, not that I'm endorsed by this company at all, but I researched combs quite a bit before I purchased. These are Paradise Fibers, and they are walnut. Now the reason I went with these, something that's very important in your hand tools, is ergonomics. That handle is just perfect for me. And then I'm awfully bad, as you can see, whenever I'm combing, I'll run that tooth along the wood and see what I've done to the walnut over time. That's my own fault. If I was really efficient at it, I would hold it up a little bit, but I tend to scrape the wood with it, so I really wanted some kind of hardwood. But ergonomics and also the type of wood, this one is a double tine. As I said, I've tried the large Valkyrie combs before. I just did not find them suitable for my type of use because I like to sit down in the evening, maybe in front of the TV with the family, with a towel or a piece of denim on my lap, and do some combing. And obviously there will be a great deal of vegetable matter that will come out as I comb, and denim or some other sturdy fabric, even a thick towel, would probably be appropriate just in case you poke or prick yourself. And in this spot, I am not really putting it on there with a great deal of care because I've already sorted the colors. If I wanted to keep all of the tips in one direction and all of the colors in one direction, then I would place them on there a little bit carefully. But as you can see, we've got some VM, and that's normal. It wasn't jacketed, and it's all on one side. So what I'm doing is I'm holding the handle in my left hand, and I'm putting the staple over here on the right side. Now then, I'm going to take the other comb, start in at the tips like so many other videos you've seen, and start in pulling out. Now always, always, always do this away from you, just like a knife, and hopefully you can even aim it up a bit, not towards your lap. So I hope I can get it all in the camera here for you. But it's nearly all transferred to the other comb on the right hand side. Now let's look at this one that's left on the left. What happens is all the shortcuts, all the VM will be on the left hand side. Now you can leave that there or go ahead and pull it off. It really doesn't matter at this point. But let's switch. Now we're going to do the same thing. What was in my right is now on my left. And you can see the fibers becoming in alignment already. So I'm pulling again, pulling again. It usually takes me about 3 passes. And this is good for fiber that is at least 3 inches long for the staple. If it were short staple, you really need to be looking at carding. So hopefully I'll have it all in the camera here for you. And again, it's nearly all transferred over to the right. Now this would be okay for demonstration, but certainly I don't know that I would let anyone try it unless they're trained in firearms. And that's not joking. You don't want that liability. So now the little shortcuts, the little nips, the little noils are over here on the left-hand side, and you can start in seeing a lot of the vegetable matter, and also the vegetable matter will fall out onto your lap cover at the same time. Now see, there's a bunch of vegetable matter. I can kind of flick that as I go. This is pass number 3, and that's really about all it's going to take, is 3 times. And if it's warm or freshly washed, scoured, it's not really difficult to comb at all. If it is tacky with lanolin left in there, yeah, you're going to have a problem. It's difficult to comb. So now what's left over here on the left is really trash as far as I'm concerned. I can take that off. If I want to keep that and card it again, I could. If I want to compost it, I can. If it was really in pretty good shape, I could put it in a pantyhose and make dryer balls. But you can see some of the VM in there, some of the shortcuts. My theory is those sheep keep growing wool, and we will never run short for as long as we live. So now I'm ready to take it off the comb. Gives me time to examine and see if there's anything else that's large VM. I can put that one aside and just start in giving it tugs. If I were on the big combs, I would probably start at one side or in the middle and work my way over. But what I'm doing is I'm giving it tugs just about the length of the staple. And it will come off on one big stream. And if it doesn't, that's okay. You know, it's just wool. It's not breakable. And you can always put it together. Now, there is the story that St. Blaise was killed with wool combs, or assassinated, or murdered. That's something for you to look up. Wool combs have been long in history, and these are really quite small compared to most. The best thing about combing wool is you get delicious wool top to spin, and it's good for your upper arms. No bat wings when you get older. Okay, so what's left there is just trash for today. Keep a little trash can, coffee can, whatever nearby. So now I have pulled top, and this gives me a chance to examine any little neps that might be left that I can pull out. Any large pieces of VM, I can shake it, flick it, whatever, to get whatever extra VM out. But I'm going to kind of pre-draft it also and give it just a small tug. And then I've got a friendly ant coming. And then I will wind it around my fingers and store it that way for a nest. That is all ready to spin, and it will be wonderful. If we want to look about how is it going to form that drafting triangle, let me take a bit and just look at that. You couldn't ask for much better. So that's the joy in hand preparation, is quality control. You get a real feel for the fleece, for the wool. And whenever you get one like this, it's just delightful. So I hope you learned something new today. And as I said, there's plenty of videos on combing, but I wanted to touch base with you, let you know how I've been this winter. Hope you had a wonderful winter and you've achieved much in spinning. and a wonderful summer ahead. Happy spinning and demonstrating.